Hello and welcome to Yoga with Subhash. In this segment, I would like to introduce you to the concept of Ujjayi breathing and Ujjayi Pranayama. This is one of the pranayama techniques, one of the breathing techniques, and it uses the technique of breathing called the Ujjayi breathing technique. Now, to understand the Ujjayi breathing technique, we have to think of constricting the passage of the breath at the base of the throat. It's called the epiglottis area, and you try to constrict the passage, and when you do that, you'll create a slight hissing sound of the breath. Now, this is in contrast with the breathing through the nostrils. So when we breathe through the nostrils, the friction of the air happens in the nostril area. So if I were to exaggerate the friction in the nostril area, it will sound like this. So that's the friction happening in the nostril area. Now when we create the friction in the throat area, at the base of the throat, before it reaches the nostrils, it will sound like this. So this, people like to call it the ocean wave sound, or even a slight hissing sound, or the sound of a snoring person. So that's the kind of sound that you hear. And if you think you're having difficulty getting that sound, one of the techniques that you can try is to open the mouth and breathe loud breaths through the mouth, something like this. When you do that, you will notice that you have created sound at the base of the throat while doing those loud inhalation and exhalation through the mouth. So having found out where the sound comes from, we will now breathe the same breath with the mouth shut. So the lips are shut and still trying to create the sound from the same spot, the base of the throat, like this. Now, the main advantages of the Ujjayi breath are twofold. One is that it's going to increase the duration of each breath. Because we are constricting the passage, so we are slowing down the breathing cycle, so it's going to prolong the duration of each breath. The other benefit of this breath is that the soft sound that it creates, it helps calm the nerves and calm the mind down. It's a very calming breath. So it's a calming breath, and it helps you prolong the breath. Now, in general, what is recommended is that any time you breathe deeper than normal breaths, you take the Ujjayi breath, even during your asana practice. So, for example, if you're doing Surya Namaskar and you raise the arms up slowly, while doing that, take the Ujjayi breath. When you're bringing the arms down slowly, take the Ujjayi breath. So any practice that involves deeper than normal breath, you take the Ujjayi breath. Now, a pranayama technique that's very commonly practiced using the Ujjayi breath, it's called the Ujjayi Pranayama. And the technique is to simply breathe in and out, deep breaths, but we engage the full capacity of the lungs in that breathing cycle. The beginning of the breath happens at the abdominal area. So as you inhale, you start filling the belly up like a balloon, and continue the inhalation, expand the chest and the rib cage sideways, and finally lift the collarbones up. That becomes your deep inhalation. The exhalation is just the opposite. You soften and lower the collarbones, soften the chest, and finally, at the end of exhalation, suck the belly all the way back in. So you're creating a big cavity at the belly area. That's the exhalation. So let me just show you a few rounds, of 2 or 3 rounds of this breathing technique called the Ujjayi Pranayama. This technique, as I mentioned, it's called the Ujjayi Pranayama. Now, if you see the description of this technique in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, it has added one more element in this technique, and it's the breath retention. So what is done as a part of this technique is to, when you finish the inhalation, at that point you hold the breath and at the same time lower the chin down into the chest, which is called Jalandhar Bandha. So you apply the Jalandhar Bandha or the chin lock while holding the breath for a few seconds. When you want to exhale, you lift the chin up back to the neutral position, but then exhale only through the left nostril. So you make the Vishnu Mudra with the right hand, close the right nostril with the right thumb, and exhale through the left side. Let me just show you 2 more rounds of this technique with the retention introduced into the practice. So this is the full sequence of the Ujjayi Pranayama with the introduction of the breath retention and the application of the chin lock or the Jalandhar Bandha. And this is how it is listed or mentioned in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is our guiding text for all practices related to Hatha Yoga. And I hope you will introduce this as a part of your ongoing yoga practice, and I hope you enjoy the benefits. Thank you. Namaste and have a great day.